Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my YouTube video series Journeys of Awakening, Tales of Awakening. I'm outside we had some lovely snow yesterday, and so now it's melting with the beautiful sunshine. And I just wanted to talk about a little bit of the excitingness going on in my world. A number of months ago, I got the inclination to reposition my whole life and change my whole life because I realized that my life was not reflecting the dreams and the goals that I had, and that I'm 35 and that I want to create the kind of life for myself that is going to set myself up for success and what I would like to do in this lifetime. So I thought about that for a long time. And I actually had decided I was going to stay at my job. I was going to stay where I lived because it was pretty secure and stable. And then some really extenuating circumstances just whipped into my life, which kind of pushed me into this direction that I'm in. So I am in the process of leaving my job. I'm in the process of moving out of where I'm going to move, where I live. And I'm in the process of being about to travel this summer. I'm going to travel with my little girl. We have lots of plans to travel across and around the country to see my family and go to some festivals and do many other beautiful things, some beautiful vacations with our family. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the process because, in a way, the fear of doing something kind of unknown and stepping into my dream feels like jumping off a cliff. But there's actually a little bit of a rhyme or reason to the way that the universe works. And at this point, I'm 35. I've done this a couple times. I feel like I have a little bit of a handle on the way things go. So, kind of. This is just my experience. I'm no expert for sure. So first I heard the call. I pondered for a while. I allowed myself to dream or conceive of a different life. And that was really the hardest part, was getting past the idea that, like, is it possible? Is it possible that I could have my own place, my own land, my own little farm and sustainable community and, gardens and chickens and all of it? Can I, as a single working mother, accomplish and achieve that? And I had so many limiting beliefs and thoughts within me that said, no, I can't do that. I'm sort of relegated to these minimum wage getting by jobs. And then there was a point where I allowed myself to realize, like, oh, wait, anything's possible. I actually know a woman in Taos, New Mexico, who a stranger literally bought her a house and property. And so I started to allow myself to believe that if something is meant to happen for me, it is totally possible. And that was the first step in really allowing myself to take action that would accomplish what my dream is. So that was number 2 on my little list. I made notes this time so I wouldn't ramble so much. I took action, which included a leap of faith. In the beginning, I did not have a clear shot from beginning to end of how it was all going to work out. But I took that leap of faith and in the process of believing that I'm going to achieve this, I also went through a process of allowing myself to shed all that no longer serves me. And so I went through a process of just saying to myself and the universe, like, okay, I'm willing to look at the patterns in my life that have contributed towards me staying in this same stuck cycle for my life. Why? If I believe that our thoughts create reality, if I believe that I can achieve and accomplish what I want to achieve and accomplish in my life through my thoughts and my attention, why has it not manifested yet in my life? Why are we not manifesting what we know we can manifest? And so that's for me the kicker. It's my integrity to say, I believe that this is how the universe works. And so if I believe this, why has it not worked for me? And it has worked on a small scale. I've been able to manifest and accomplish many amazing things in this life. And I have many stories to share about it. But for me, I want to do it on the big scale for myself. What good is it if I can't accomplish my life's dream and purpose? What's the point of having that? So So that's really was the hard part, and I did not make a lot of videos during that time. It was deep soul searching, really allowing myself to look at my demons, my dark side, to realize that my dark side really is also my strength and my asset when I am able to really acknowledge what are the patterns that I repeat, what are the beliefs, the limiting beliefs that I have about myself that make me keep jumping into similar situations or patterns. What do I need to reaffirm about myself? So that's been a really powerful process that I've been going through in the last month or so. And this also includes not only shedding what's no longer serving me within, but without. I've been getting rid of a lot of possessions. I've been giving things away. I've been donating things. I've been selling things. I've been paring myself down to the essentials and not holding on to extra junk. I've gone through every clutter box, every junk drawer, everything that I've been holding on to just in case, and just keeping it down to the minimum, the things that really are going to set me up for the success that I want to be in, and making way to step into something new. And then being willing to receive the blessings that come my way, because we are all deserving of these blessings, and the universe does want to support us. But part of those limiting beliefs, part of the ways that we continue in these patterns, is that we actually push away the blessings that are coming to us. I've seen it happen in my friends' lives, and I realize that's a reflection for me to see for myself, that, oh, there were times when a blessing wanted to come to that person, and they literally pushed it away. Maybe it was false humility to say, oh, no, I don't need that, or no, I can't take that, or maybe it was, I don't deserve this, I'm not good enough for it, or whatever it is, for me to say, okay, if somebody wants to bless me, I'm going to receive that with gratitude. And I know that I am blessed by that, and that they will be blessed by giving of their time, of their money, of their energy, whatever it may be. And in turn, when I give, I'm also blessed. So I'm thankful for opportunities to give. And so therefore, I can be thankful for opportunities to receive. So there's a prayer that I have developed over years. It's sort of started as one phrase and has evolved over the years. And so in the beginning, Jesus, I remember Jesus in the Bible, he used to tell these parables, and then he would say, let he who has ears to hear, hear. Let he who has eyes to see, see. And so I had this prayer when I first started going through my awakening of, may I have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And then over time, I realized it's not just eyes to see and ears to hear that I needed, but also wisdom to be able to perceive what I was seeing and hearing. So then I included that, may I have eyes to see, ears to hear, wisdom to perceive. And then over time, I started to realize that I was being given the wisdom to perceive, but I was too afraid to take action on what I was seeing. So I expounded on the prayer. May I have eyes to see, ears to hear, wisdom to perceive, courage to act when it's time to act, and here's a hard part, courage to stay when it's time to stay. And here is a part of the prayer that I've added just recently, actually just today. May I have the courage to trust that the universe has got my back, that I am supporting myself. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it angels, if you want to call it your guides, if you want to call it the universe, if you want to call it Jesus Christ or Baba or Buddha or whoever it is, there is a function in the universe that desires to support us when we are stepping into living in our personal integrity. And so I believe that, I trust it because I have experienced it. At 35, I've had enough time to evaluate my own personal beliefs in reference to what I've been taught, to shift out what are my thoughts versus what my programming thoughts are, and what do I believe. And then I've had a chance to actually take action on those beliefs and see if that action works out to what I thought it would. And so that's how I've been coming to step into and live in my integrity. As I've taken action, I've been able to sort out what do I believe, what do I not believe. And so I am keeping this belief. So, the last little detail, this is Journeys of Awakening. So, one of the things I wanted to share as I've been going through this process is that I call myself partially psychic. I am not reliably psychic in the terms that I can just go and, read everybody's future and know exactly what to say about them. But there are things that I get glimpses into, flashes of, dreams about, perceptions about for other people, but particularly, in reference to myself. And I've been learning how to trust and to perceive and interpret what I see. And it used to be that I used to play this game. I had read this book that talked about timeline jumping and time travel. And it talked about seeing time or reality like a book and flipping open a page and being able to peer down the corridor of certain potential futures. And that would happen with me. I would meet people and I would peer down the corridor of these potential futures. And what would happen is my ego would get confused. And I would start to get attached to what I saw in those futures, trying to make them happen. And I recently realized that I don't need to manipulate my potential future, and that there's a different way to go about it. When I think about the idea of manipulating potential futures or jumping into different timelines or whatever, I start to think about that movie, The Butterfly Effect, and I remember the catastrophic outcomes that happened. But there's a different way that I have learned to abide with the universe, and that is grounding and centering myself. It's taking a breath, it's feeling the energy ground through the bottom of my feet and down into the earth. It's feeling it come up through the core of my being and out through the top of my head, and feeling that warm feeling kind of flood my body, and then I feel it come out through my heart chakra, and I feel it like an egg around me, and I feel the warmth, and I feel the peace and the settledness of I'm in this moment and I trust. And from that place I begin to navigate the feeling of peace. And so as I start to step into different things, and as I start, right now I'm in a place where I have many options before me, and I believe that in each potential future there's an infinite number of choices. And so how do we know which one to step into? And for me, as I begin to step towards certain things, I feel into each potential, and as I feel into it, I'll either feel like a friction where it doesn't feel so settled, or I'll feel a peace and an ease as I sort of flow into it. And in that way I act as water, sort of going towards the path of least resistance, but not in a lazy way, because I'm continuing to be focused on my goal. So my ultimate goal is, for me in this particular action, is to step into my own sovereign space on my own land and my own house, that eventually I will have enough space to hold space for other people to come and live and be present and work on, and in a sustainable community type environment. And so and also the synchronicities will help guide me. As I see certain synchronicities, I'll know that those are like little lampposts to say, like, oh, you're going the right way, and people come into my life where I have these interactions that are just like, oh, so incredible. A super quick story. There was a couple weeks ago, Rosemary and I were at the park. We were having a day, and after I had got out of work, and we took the bus down to we drove to the library, and we met some beautiful people. She had some playmates, and I was talking to some parents, and we were just having some really beautiful conversations. And then we went to King Soopers to get dinner, and I got some sushi, and we got like some blueberries, and we were sitting and eating, and and some tiny little pints of ice cream that we were eating with our blueberries. And we were eating our dinner at the little table there at King Soopers, and there was a man and a young woman at the table next to us, and I heard him talking on. He hung up his phone, and then he said to her, like, I think we're gonna make it happen. My roommate might pick up. I know we're gonna try to get a ride. We're gonna get there. And I looked up and I said, oh, do you guys need a ride somewhere? I didn't have to work that night. And so he was like, yes, I do need a ride. And I was he said, oh, well, we were hiking up in the mountains and we took the wrong trail and we didn't realize how late it was and the sun went down really fast and it got really dark and cold. So we just came down to King Soopers, but we're about 5 miles away from my car, where my car is parked. Can you give us a ride back to the trailhead? And I was like, sure. And they were blown away by how open I was to offering to help, which was, me paying it forward because I just had complete strangers install and gift me brand new carpeting in my camper. So I felt, happy to pay it forward. And so it turns out this woman's name, she had the same name as I did. And her mother had the same name as my daughter. And it went on from there, synchronicity after synchronicity, to where this dude that was with her, his friend, was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And we all just couldn't believe how synchronistic and magical feeling it was. And so I gave them a ride back to the trailhead, and we all just felt really blessed and happy to have met each other and bid them on their way. And, and it worked out. So that was a way that I felt like it just sort of helped me to feel like, oh, I'm on the right path. I'm doing something right. Things were flowing nicely for us and for them. So the last thing is, as you're on this journey of flowing towards your goal, and it's not just like a fly by night sort of thing. It's a stepping into your wisdom and your power, being activated and allowing your heart to guide you towards that goal, which is originating from your heart, and it's your soul's highest purpose anyway. So the universe wants to put you into that goal. Be flexible, as things are not going to look the way that we think they are. The end game is not going to look the way you think it does. It's not going to look the way you visualize it to look, but it's going to be much better. And be flexible along the way and open to what the possibilities may be. I'm excited to share this journey. I'm excited to connect with other people who are going through this, and I'm excited to be living this life and to be living and breathing here now. Blessings, gratitude, and love to you. And if you find value in this video, if you like it, please like it, please comment, please share it, and let's get a great conversation going. And please, comment about your experiences, and let's really get something dynamic going. On Facebook, you can find me at Let's Make Wonderland. And of course, here on YouTube, my channel is youtube.com/ElizabethJane1. Blessings. Bye-bye.